Welcome to episode 6 of the Rust Programming Language series. In this episode, we're going to create an application that uses the while loop in Rust. You need to have Rust and a text editor installed on your computer for this episode. If you haven't watched my previous episodes on Rust, I'd suggest that you go do that now, especially episode 5. The application that we're going to create will show the same loops as in episode 5, but instead of using the loop expression, we're going to use the while loop. Alright, so start by opening your terminal and navigating to where you store your Rust files. In there, I'm going to create a new project with the help of Cargo. I'm going to navigate to my new project folder, and then I'm going to open my project folder in my text editor. Open folder, episode 6, and open. I'm gonna make this full screen. And then I'm going to open my main.rust file in the source directory. I'm going to remove the print line command for now, and I'm gonna start by commenting my code. So what is this application going to do? Well, it will create an infinite loop. We're just going to copy that from the previous application in episode 5. And how do you use the while loop? Well, we write while and then true to make an infinite loop. And then we use curly braces to write what we want to do in the while loop. So we want to print line, this is my loop, semicolon. So save that, compile it, and run it. So I'm going to start by building this. And as you can see, Cargo gives us, it's not an error, but it's a warning, and they say instead of using the while true, you should use the loop. But for this example, we want to use the while true to show how we can create the same loops as in the previous episode. So now run this, and as you can see, this works. So we're going to kill the process with Control-C, and then we're going to create the second loop that we made in the previous episode. So we'll create an infinite loop that counts the cycles. So let mute cycle equals 0, semicolon, and while true, we want to increment the cycle, and Rust does not have the plus plus, so we need to do equals cycle plus 1, semicolon. And this is cycle, curly braces, cycle. Alright, so save that and recompile. And this works perfectly fine. Alright, so for the third example, we're going to create an application that counts from 0 to 100. Application counts from 0 to 100. This is where the while loop becomes more useful than just a loop. So in here, instead of writing while true, we want to use something else. We want to use a condition. So while cycle is less than 101, so basically up until cycle 100, we want to do this. This is cycle, and then what cycle it is. So we want to recompile and run that, and as you can see, this prints out from starting from cycle 0 and all the way down to 100, or up to 100. And this is where the while loop is more useful than the normal loop, because here we don't have to break. And the difference between our example with the loop is also that this is essentially the same as writing if cycle is more than 100 here, then you want to break it. So in the previous example we wrote the if statement at the bottom, but this one checks at the top. Alright, so I hope this was a simple explanation between the difference of a while and a loop expression. So that concludes this episode, but I want you to try different things with a while loop before moving on to episode 7 to really make sure that you understand what the while loop is and how to use it, and especially what the difference between the while loop and the loop is. So good luck and happy coding!